Welcome back, everybody. Southern California is at the center of a crime wave. Joining us now to discuss the issue and his recent op-ed is Oceanside City Councilman and congressional candidate Chris Rodriguez. Chris, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I want to acknowledge your service to our country. We thank you for that right off the bat. You are a city councilman, a father of 7, and you are the words that you're using to describe how you feel about this is infuriating. Please tell us.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? It's so much bigger than just the crime wave. I think we're just seeing the fruit of poor policies up and down our state, which is ran by Democrats. And, you know, I like to break it down into 5 categories. You have the public safety, crisis we're seeing right now. You have our economy, education, the environment, healthcare, across the spectrum. The way the Democrats are running this state is the exact way you do not want to run a state. And so I'm running for Congress because I believe in having law and order. I believe in having a strong economy. Right now in California, we have the highest poverty rate in the nation. Homelessness is out of control. And Democrat politicians continue to double down on failing policies like Mike Levin. And we need a fighter that's going to represent the people on the ground and with nonpartisan solutions to these issues. You mentioned the homeless issue, and that is a huge issue, not just here in San Diego County, but throughout the state. What do you think would be, it doesn't seem there's one fix for everything. What do you think a possible solution might be? You know, that is an amazing question. That's one of the reasons I ran for city council is the homeless dynamic in Oceanside was out of control. We've cut down on our homelessness because when government gets involved, we want to be compassionate, but we also want to relieve impacts to our neighbors, our tourists, our residents. And so policies must be balanced. They must have an enforcement element. They must be also compassionate, but they have to be accountable. And you must work with the private sector that's been very successful in handling homeless, because homelessness is a symptom to underlying root issues, whether that be, domestic violence or drug addiction, or just you got laid off from your job. Everybody has a unique situation and one size doesn't fit all. But if you're just building expensive housing and putting every single homeless individual in those housing, it's expensive on taxpayers and it doesn't work. And those are the failed policies that Democrats like Mike Levin are wanting to bring to D.C. and spread these disastrous policies nationwide. And that's why I'm running for Congress, to put an end to these failed policies. Well, in your op-ed, you also take aim at Prop 47. For those in our viewing audience who might not be familiar with Prop 47, tell us about it and why it's bad. So Prop 47 was spearheaded by the ACLU, backed by Democrats. Before Newsom was governor, he endorsed it. The goal behind it was to lower prison populations by decriminalizing, felony acts like, grand larceny, grand theft. If you go into a store and you steal up to $950 or less, it's not a felony anymore. So what Democrats have done is they've tied the hands of our local law enforcement, and they can't make arrests, they can't keep us safe, and these criminals get a mere ticket, and they have to appear in court as a misdemeanor. That's unacceptable, and that's why you're seeing up and down our state smash and grabs. The seniors that I speak to in my district, they're afraid to go shopping. Low-income families and communities of color, they're afraid to go to work because they're afraid they're going to be held at gunpoint. And that's because these failed Democrat policies, up and down our state, whether it's health care, where, the Medicaid system here in California has turned our health care into the DMV. Issues like the environment, where we spend hundreds of millions of dollars to offset GHGs, yet we have wildfires that create more GHGs than we just paid to offset. And then education, where you have Hispanic and Black students, only 15% are proficient in math. That is unacceptable. And conservative Hispanics like me, we're fed up. We're done. And they're leaving the Democrat Party. And that's why I'm running as a Republican and representing the hardworking Americans here in the 49th and I'm going to represent them in D.C.
Okay. He's a Marine. He's a Republican candidate in the 49th. Chris, and we've got your website right there, rodriguezforcongress.us, right?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.